We are tracking a breezy and a chilly day. The chill gets a little bit tougher into your Saturday. I'll break that down for you coming up.
A teenager is now facing a murder charge in the death of her Boyle County stepmother. And our Rob Bromley is live inside Rupp Arena, where in a few hours the UK Wildcats will play each other in the blue-white scrimmage. A preview coming up.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to WKYT News at 4. Barbara Bailey reporting. Amber has the afternoon off. Chilly changes are starting off our weekend here in the Bluegrass. After some much-needed rain, it's feeling much cooler today. I'm sure you've noticed it. Let's check in now with our WKYT meteorologist, Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, certainly a chill in the air out there for us today, Barb, and it's going to hang around as we get into at least the first part of the weekend, but then we're back into the warmth. We look outside right now and you see the clouds, especially off in the distance, and the position that I have the camera facing as we're looking toward the south here, and it's a little bit thicker in our southern counties, and we're also tracking some showers in that general area as well. Very light rain, but still hanging out. It's 55 here in Lexington with the northwest wind coming in at 15 miles per hour. It's a little bit breezier than that from time to time with some stronger gusts. I think we hold on to the gusts through the evening. They'll back off some into Saturday, and then we're right back into the thick of it as we make a transition over into your Sunday with breezy conditions, but warmer. 59 up the road there in Mount Sterling, out into eastern Kentucky. Look at Pikeville. They're at 48 degrees right now. That is incredible. That is a chill in the air for sure. But the thing about that is they've been dealing with some rain for a little while. I asked a few folks headed out to some of those very chilly high school football Friday night games. How about kickoff at 52? That may be optimistic. 49 by halftime, 46 by the time we wrap up those games. So chill in the air for sure out there this evening, Barb, and into at least the first part of the weekend. But the warmth will be back. I'll track the positive side of this coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll focus on the positive side, Jimmy. Thank you. In our news, a 15-year-old Central Kentucky girl is now charged with murder in the death of her stepmother. Jenna Oakley has been indicted by a grand jury for murder and theft by unlawful taking. Police say 52-year-old Rhonda Oakley was found murdered in the family's home on September 1st. Jenna Oakley and her 20-year-old boyfriend, Kenneth Nye, were arrested a few days after the murder in New Mexico. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more details on the charges. It's our top story at 4. Phil?
The 15-year-old remains in a juvenile holding facility somewhere in Kentucky, I am told. She is facing a murder charge, but I'm also told that she is facing a complicity to commit murder charge as well in the death of her stepmother. Now, Rhonda Oakley was found dead on September 1st. Police say that her stepdaughter Jenna and her boyfriend, 20-year-old Kenneth Nye, were found several days later in Rhonda Oakley's car outside a motel in New Mexico. Nye was charged and later tried to kill himself in jail. He remains on life support in New Mexico, but the prosecutor calls him a person of interest in this case. Jenna Oakley is also facing a felony theft charge dealing with taking her stepmother's car. Now, Commonwealth's attorney Richie Bottoms calls this a very sad and troubling case, says he feels for the Oakley family in this very difficult time. We're going to have a lot more on this coming up next hour, but for now, in Boyle County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. And according to the indictment, Jenna Oakley will not be eligible for bond. She could be transferred to an adult jail upon her 18th birthday. 2 people are in the hospital after another shooting last night in Lexington. Police believe this crime was a drug-related robbery gone wrong. Police tell us 3 people tried to rob a home in the Red Mile Road area around 8:30 p.m. and at some point shots were fired. They say a 19-year-old suspect and a 22-year-old victim were shot. Police say a friend of the resident shot the 19-year-old suspect to protect himself and others. He also apparently accidentally shot the 22-year-old victim, another friend of the resident, in the process. The 22-year-old showed up at a Shell station on South Broadway asking for help, and the 19-year-old showed up at St. Joseph Hospital. Both the suspect and victim are still hospitalized. Police say the suspect will face a robbery charge and other charges are also possible. We're working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30. WKYT's Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hi, Sam.
Good afternoon, Barbara. A police officer is recovering after being injured during a chase in Laurel County. London police tell us an employee at Universal Linen Service, Christopher Gaines, was making threats at the business. Police say that when they showed up, Gaines took off and they chased him. An officer suffered a shoulder injury during the chase and was taken to St. Joseph, London. We're told he is a canine officer. His dog was not hurt. We'll have an update on the case ahead on WKYT News at 4:30. An update on the Centerpoint project in downtown Lexington. Developers have filed revised plans for the project. There are not many changes involving the businesses inside Centerpoint, but developers are making some changes to the apartments in the plans. Now the apartments will be placed above the office building, which is planned to go on the corner of Limestone and Main Street. Coming up on WKYT News at 6, you'll hear from the developer of the project, Dudley Webb, on when he thinks certain sections of the project will be finished. University of Kentucky making some big changes in how it gives out financial aid to students. UK will now focus more on students who need help paying for college. Right now, UK allocates nearly 90% of its financial aid to students based on grades and test scores. That will go down to 65%, but no changes will be made to scholarships awarded for the 2016-2017 school year. UK leaders hope the change will improve graduation and retention rates. We'll have more details on the changes ahead on WKYT News at 6. That's a look at some of the news in progress on this Friday. Barbara, back to you.
All right, Sam, come join me here very soon. Well, the Wildcats will gather, the fans will be gathering downtown tonight for the annual Blue-White game. Our Rob Bromley is live in Rupp Arena now with a preview. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Barb. Blue-White game here tonight, and John Calipari said earlier this week he's seeing what his players can do, then he's going to define them, and then he'll figure out just how this team will play. So we should learn a little bit more here tonight. Cal is expected to go with a three-guard offense again and play freshman De'Aaron Fox at the point. Fox has been compared to John Wall, lightning quick, but Cal said earlier this week he's not there yet.
See, John Wall used his speed as a weapon. And it was his number one weapon, wasn't just a weapon. It was the weapon that he used to beat you. De'Aaron doesn't see himself that way, and I'm trying to get him to just fly, man, go at people, try to get to that rim, and then if it's not there, let's play. So, you know, he's got some things he's got to do.
And it will be a 7 o'clock tip tonight on the SEC Network, Barb. And again, John Calipari is going to be giving out that free spring tuition to 2 lucky UK students. He's done that now for several years. Really nice gesture. We'll have much more coming up at 5. Talk about another freshman, Bam Adebayo. Barb, back to you.
Right, thank you. And you said it, a great gift from Cal. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. There's little more than 2 weeks to go before Election Day, and the presidential nominees are campaigning hard for every vote. But new polls indicate a tough road ahead for Donald Trump. Rival Hillary Clinton is challenging or beating him in southern states that were once firmly in the GOP's corner. Kim Hutcherson reports.
Get out and vote.
Fresh polling shows Donald Trump struggling in states that were once solidly Republican. A Christopher Newport University poll puts Hillary Clinton up 12 points in Virginia, 45% to 33%. And an Atlanta Journal-Constitution poll shows Trump with a narrow 2-point lead in Georgia, 44% to 42%. Bill Clinton was the last Democrat to win Georgia back in 1992. Hillary Clinton speaking in Ohio Friday as her campaign releases a hard-hitting new ad featuring Gold Star father Khizr Khan.
Would my son have a place in your America?
Trump on the campaign trail in North Carolina and Pennsylvania after getting slammed for rigged election claims and getting booed during remarks at the Al Smith charity dinner Thursday night. Smith's great-great-grandson explained why attendees reacted negatively.
You know, Donald had some very solid minutes early on, and eventually he crossed the line and took it a little too far.
But Cardinal Timothy Dolan, who sat between Trump and Clinton, told NBC that the candidates were much more civil away from the mic.
Mr. Trump turned to Secretary Clinton and said, you know, you are one tough and talented woman. And she said to him, and Donald, whatever happens, we need to work together afterwards.
But with just over 2 weeks to go until Election Day, we're likely to see less courtesy and more conflict on the campaign trail. I'm Kim Hutcherson reporting.
More Americans now have access to bank accounts. That's ahead in WKYT Money Watch.
How new technology could make improving sports performance a slam dunk. I'm Karina Mitchell with that story coming up.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Some encouraging news today when it comes to financial stability in the U.S. That begins today's Money Watch. A new survey from federal regulators found more people have bank accounts. The number of Americans without checking or savings accounts has declined, down 0.7% from 2013 to 2015. Despite a shortage of homes on the market, American home sales were up last month. They rose by 3.2%, according to the National Association of Realtors. The number of homes actually on the market was down about 7%. Nintendo is looking to change the game with its newest console. The new Nintendo Switch gives users the ability to switch from home console gaming to mobile and then back again. Nintendo is hoping to boost sales and stay competitive after its last system failed to meet expectations. Sony and Microsoft also have new systems on the way. The Nintendo Switch is set to be released in March. The price has not yet been announced. An estimated 44 million kids between the ages of 6 and 18 play organized sports in the U.S. every year. For many, using private coaches is a way to improve their game. But cost and scheduling can make it difficult until now. Karina Mitchell reports on a new app that may make it easier to find a coach.
Basketball is a team sport, but high school sophomore Darryl Miller knew he needed help with his shooting to make the varsity team.
I'm left-handed, so sometimes my right hand will conflict with the shot.
Darryl's mom, Veronica Miller, turned to Coach Up, an app that connects athletes with personal coaches in more than 30 sports, everything from lacrosse and basketball to wrestling. She says using the app to find Coach Paul Barber was easy.
They clicked. They kept working at it, and he was improving on his skills, and he just wanted to continue going.
Barber trains one-on-one and in small groups.
Catch, turn, shoot. I try to focus on the one skill that they're not so good at and turn it into an automatic.
The service has about 20,000 coaches available across the country, and individual training sessions can be set up online or through their app. Americans spend more than $6 billion a year on coaches and sports camps, with much of that money going toward kids. There are a handful of other websites that connect athletes and coaches. Coach Up charges the athlete a one-time $15 fee and takes a percentage of the coach's earnings.
We're their back office. What we let them do is what they really want to do, which is coach, right? They don't want to deal with all of the administrative hassles, insurance, the waivers.
Darryl says the personal coaching helped him make the varsity team. Karina Mitchell for CBS News, New York.
Now, coaches set their own prices for training, averaging about $50 per session, and the company plans on creating its own training facilities.
I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about today, highlighting a young lady who's created her very own business. It's called Sway Jewel. We'll tell you more about it when we return here on WKYT.
And we're still tracking a little bit of shower activity, especially to our south and east. That'll clear up and the temperatures are expected to drop. We'll break it all down next for you.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
It is certainly a chilly day out there. We've gone from touching record highs across parts of Kentucky to a true chill in the air. Jacket weather for many folks out there. Let's get right to it so you can see the reason that we're cooler in some spots. The reason being the showers, like out to our east, where they find themselves in the low 50s because of the thick cover of rain. And it's even colder out toward Pikeville there. I think they were at 48 or 49 degrees a little while ago. You work your way out and away from that rain, and we're in the mid-50s and even some upper 50s here. In Lexington, 54, stuck under cloud cover, of course. 59 towards Somerset, 58 Monticello. Let's put that into motion so you see what's happening with the general trajectory of all of this. And we're going to see periods here this evening where you might see a little sunshine while it's still up, of course. And then eventually the skies will cloud back over before they clear up completely, I think, as we head into the overnight. Because what's happening is we've got a low that's spinning. You can kind of see the circulation right there. As it moves away from us, it will take, of course, all the moisture away and the cloud cover away as well, meaning that we'll get in on some clearer skies. Now, as we look forward into the weekend, we are looking at, again, a chillier day, but notice we're seeing more in the way of blue skies tomorrow afternoon, and as for the tailgate at least, but as we get into the game, the chill will start to settle in yet again. 50 by kickoff, 45 by the time you're on your way home. Let's get you to that point. High school football this evening, very chilly as well. It's a very similar setup between today and tomorrow, probably into the low 50s, upper 40s in some spots at kickoff. We go through the overnight, and there you see the skies clearing, by the way, and you'll see temperatures dropping into the 30s. Area-wide, that's where they're trying their best to get with all the model data. Maybe upper 30s, might be some stuck in the low 40s, but nonetheless, certainly a chilly night. Daytime highs tomorrow struggle back into the mid and upper 50s. Now that's going to come with a little more sunshine. You can see some clouds out there, but overall a much better looking day if you're a fan of blue skies. We'll get into Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, another chilly start, but then daytime highs are just off to the races. We're back into the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees in some spots Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, out ahead of another cold front that will drop in. A front, by the way, that gets here, and it is bone dry when it sweeps through the area, and that's really what's going to kind of keep temperatures flat. Instead of really increasing this week, they'll keep them flat. Look what's happening. That's the only reason I wanted to stop right here. Look what's happening over in the mountains of West Virginia by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Talking about snowflakes there. So it could always be worse. You think our chill is bad? That's even worse. There you see the 7-day forecast. Overall, I call this a decent fall weekend. We keep the 60s around. You notice that we're spiking at 67 on Sunday, back to the mid-60s on Monday because of that cold front. So no major weather issues out there this weekend. Let's see if we've got anything going on outside on the roads. Here's Officer Don.
Well, main situation right now is Keeneland traffic, of course, on Versailles Road and an outbound. Slowdowns there. The officer is already working the button to get traffic out, and soon we'll see overflow on the outer loop of the circle and on Harrodsburg Road. So far, drive time's not impacted so much. To Versailles, we're still holding at about 12 minutes. To Nicholasville, 13, and Winchester, 28. Now back to you in the studio.
Thank you. One Lexington woman decided she couldn't find any statement pieces in her jewelry box, so she decided to make some for herself. Now she has her own business. Deanne Stevens is out and about today with more. Hi, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at the home of Lee Millward in Lexington, and you've got to check out so many of these beautiful creations she has done. She started her very own business called Sway Jewel, and listen, I saw this pop up on Facebook one day, and I'm like, I gotta have one of those. Lee is with us now, and Lee, what woman doesn't love a statement piece like you put together?
Much. And that's why I created this company. I could not find a statement piece that I truly loved with all the elements and components that I wanted in it, especially responsibly sourced.
Right.
So I created these pieces, and I'm glad you love them.
Okay, so tell us about Sway Jewel and how you do this. Didn't you say you took a piece that you halfway liked and took it apart and then started from there?
I did. I found a necklace that I liked, but it wasn't as large as I wanted it to be, and it didn't have the components that I liked on it, so I literally bought a hide and cut it up on my bed and taught myself how to make a tassel. And then I started experimenting with beads. And I've sort of launched into natural things such as, animal, fish, gem, mineral components that are naturally sourced, responsibly sourced. And I just kind of play and put it all together. And I'm having the best time with this.
Well, it's got to be so much fun to use your creativity, but especially when you make women like me happy who come in and go, I want one of those, I want one of those, I want one of those.
I'm so flattered. Thank you so much.
Talk about being creative with it, and you have a little something different for everybody.
They are each original pieces, and obviously there are only so many beads to create a necklace with, so I try to mix it up a little bit so no two are exactly the same. And each necklace is sort of an experience with, jewelry is such an expression of yourself, and it's such a treat to find that special piece that you really connect with, especially a piece that is made and created by hand.
Right, right, which means it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time.
A lot of
it's so
time.
fun. I love every second.
A lot of creativity, a lot of effort. Now, the best part about what Lee is doing here at Sway Jewel is they're giving back. Coming up at 4:50, we're going to tell you who they're giving back to, and by you buying one of these, who you're helping out as well, you can check out all of the beautiful pieces online and tell them your website.
SwayJewel.com.
SwayJewel.com. Be sure to tune in at 4:50. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
All right, Deanne, thank you. And how much time is too much screen time for your children? We'll take a look at the numbers coming up in Better Living. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is $25 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $151 million. Now it's time for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. New recommendations from pediatricians suggest that parents should limit screen time based on their child's age. Those recommendations say that for those younger than 18 months, avoid screen time altogether, except for video chatting. For kids 18 to 24 months, parents should choose age-appropriate content and watch it with them. Parents should limit screen time for 2 to 5-year-olds to 1 hour a day and simply monitor usage for older children to ensure it doesn't get out of control. A Danish study has found that children born to parents with schizophrenia or bipolar disorder are more likely to experience mental health problems by the age they turn 7. The children were also found to be more likely to suffer from anxiety, ADHD, and other disorders. And scientists at Northwestern University found mussels have their own internal clock that regulates the muscle's metabolism and energy efficiency depending on the time of day. The study found mussels work best when used during normal waking hours. Well, the news is just now getting started. Here's what we're working on at 4:30.